big swings at some stuff. I myself view his presidency as, nice try, swing and a miss. And my barometer for the whole situation would be what I observe in America, the level of division that I feel in America. Am I saying he's the direct cause of it? No. But it's happening on his watch. And, I don't know. If it's happening on his watch, why the hell are we supposed to have elected a president to look after stuff like this? But I think he's about ready to be over and done with it. I think he's ready to bail with a quickness and spend most of his time, publicly speaking, being clever and funny. Because if there's one thing he's good at, it's speaking publicly and being clever and funny. I don't necessarily know that extends to his ability to effectively president a country. But I think he's probably going to go out and produce some stunning content being clever and funny after the presidency is done. Anyways, alrighty then, Funkhauser. Do we have any more news?
We have like one.
Yeah, let's finish up the news.
Researchers at the University of Utah say being optimistic is overrated.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind that these people, they live in Utah, so they really haven't experienced a whole lot to be optimistic about. Alrighty then. We should get to this. We should get to this today. Have you spent much time in Utah?
I went there once. I went to Park City. I recommend it highly.
See, I think a lot of people go and they do what a lot of people do in Utah. They ski and go, this place is great. They don't necessarily realize what the hell it is to live there, to grow up there. It's a weird place. Lots of it.
I saw that movie SLC Punk.
Yeah. I don't know if that movie is the same thing as real life, but but the parts of Salt Lake City that look awful in that, from what I understand, after having spoken to other folks that live in Salt Lake City, is kind of right on the money. What was that guy's name? The Salt Lake City punk guy? Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies?
I can't remember that guy's name. He was in Scream, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, everyone thought he was going to be this big deal, and now we can't remember his name. It's too bad. He seemed good. I wonder how he's doing. Like, someone like that has a 4 or 5 long movie career. I think he did okay. Think he has to work anymore? Probably not, depending on his particular
Matthew Lillard.
There you go. Yeah, I think Matthew Lillard is doing okay financially. You can check out that celebrity net worth site, but I know for a fact that's wrong because I've been standing there with celebrities as they look at themselves and be like, $18.5 million. I wish. Anyways. Are older people smarter?
I don't know. I like getting older, though. Life is an education, and if you're older, you're smarter. I just believe that. If you're in an argument with somebody and they're older than you, you should listen to them. It doesn't mean they're right. It means that even if they're wrong, their wrongness is rooted in more information than you have. They've been here longer. If you're older, you're smarter. How many people here by applause are 45 or older? 45 or older, applaud. Okay? That's about 60 people out of 2,400. Here's the interesting thing. There's way more. I can see you. There's so many more. This is Arizona. There are way more people in that demographic, but they didn't clap. Why? Because they're smart. They're sitting in the dark going, I don't have to clap. I don't have to do anything. They're not doing it. And they're right. You know why? Because never identify yourself. Never. Are you crazy? You don't know why I'm asking. How do you know what okay, burn them all. Burn everybody over 45. How do you know I'm not going to do that? How many people here by applause are 40 or younger? 40 or younger, applaud. That's every time. Woo! Woo! Every time. That is a weird thing to celebrate in a room where you're not the only people here. That's like going to a cancer ward. Not me. Woo! I don't have it. I don't have it.
Know who's old? The Pope. Can't have a young Pope. People need the Pope and the President to be old, but not too old. Very small window of opportunity to be a person of weight and certainty and significance in terms of doing something that is respected because of the age of the person doing it. Does that make sense? Like, ooh, if a presidential candidate is in their 40s, I don't know about that. Yeah. Guy that young, what's he really done? Is he capable of wiping his own butt? In an international political sort of way, being 40 is being entirely too young. A lot of the world sees being 40 as being like, oh, clearly downhill from here. But in the world of politics, 40 is too young to really be taken all that seriously, especially if you're going for something like, well, President of the United States of America. Now, past a certain age, people, rightfully so, worry about your faculties. I remember back in the day, looking at Ronald Reagan being like, my grandfather's younger than that guy, and we don't give him the remote to the TV. He's the one that has his finger on the button that could send us all to hell. Don't know how I feel about that. And that was my, 8-year-old brain going, should this guy really be president? And as it turns out, I think, I'd have to check and see if it's a fact or if it's speculation, but I think he wasn't quite all there for the tail end of his presidency. So it's this weird thing where you need to be of a certain age. You have this tiny little window to crawl through when it comes to being a politician or a leader of any sort, like being leader of the Catholic Church. I like the new Pope, who I guess has been Pope long enough that we can just call him the Pope. But no matter how old he is, he brings a young way of thinking to being Pope. And that includes calling people at home to offer them comfort. But what would you do if you got a call from the Pope? Someone was like, hey, it's the Pope. I want to talk to you about you being sick. You'd be like, piss off, Joe. I'm sick. Is this really any time for that? That's exactly what happened. We'll get into it shortly after this.
Made the world a better place. Bethany Hamilton lost an arm surfing in a shark attack, and what she had to overcome was crazy in the aftermath. Nobody would have blamed her for taking a different path, but she's pro surfing now, so what do you think of that? Helen Keller was an animal caged by being blind, deaf, and mute, but a teacher, Ann Sullivan, never gave up on the truth that what people say is impossible is just their own perception. Taught Helen how to speak and gave her life its direction. And if a woman can go from being considered to be legally an animal to a college grad activist, symbol of what's possible, don't you think it's true that you might have more to you than whatever people told you you're not smart or strong enough to do? You're giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists. Giving up, nothing on earth will end you faster, cause when you lose hope, that's a real disaster. Giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more exists. Giving up, nothing on earth will end you faster, cause when you lose hope, that's a real disaster. Yeah, so many people you see giving up, cause it's easier to face giving up than not living up to all the things that you had said you wanted to be. When running away from challenge seems to be so much more easy, cause man's search for meaning means disbelieving, means not perceiving you're less of being, and you got something to offer that no one can take away. It means not accepting what life hands you every single day, and every way you write a story that just belongs to you. So when asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do? When asked to write your own story, what you gonna do?
Got somebody to be right. Got somebody to be right. For now.
You're giving up on ever being any better than this. You're giving up on the idea that even more.
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go. Punk, yeah, bitch, that's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah.
So if you got a call from someone saying, hey, it's a Pope, you'd be like, okay, sure. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks for wasting my time. I'll see you at the office. Catholic guy named Franco Rebuffi in Italy was seriously sick, and Pope Francis found out about it and found out about him. Now, we like this Pope. As we were saying earlier, Pope Francis at Pontifex on Twitter has kind of a younger way of going through life. little bit more of a purist way of going through life. And regardless of what you believe or don't believe in terms of religion, I think one of the things that you have to enjoy about the Pope is that he really, at least in my eyes, goes through life in a way that I think a man of God should go through life. Kindness, charity, love. The Pope Mobile, that big bulletproof thing that popes in the past have gone out in, he's not overly concerned with that. He walks the streets at night, handing out food to the poor. He says things like, we place too much emphasis on being gay or not being gay. Who am I to judge? It's not for me to judge, it's for God to judge. Let's worry about what we can add to this world, as opposed to the rights we can take away from gay people. Don't waste food. It's a sin to waste food. There's lots of people starving in this world. Don't waste food. This is a sort of very simple, yet very telling stuff that the Pope trots out on a regular basis. And for once in my life, it seems like someone who purports to be a man of God in a position of authority is acting in a way that a man of God should. With kindness, compassion, and love for everyone. So, when this Catholic guy, Franco Rebuffi in Italy, was seriously sick and Pope Francis found out about him, well, the local press didn't give Franco's age or say what was wrong with him or how the Pope found out. But we do know that he almost got himself damned for all eternity because the Pope called him last week to comfort him. I was like, hey, this guy's sick. I'm going to call him and comfort him. Offer him a couple words. And when Franco answered and heard, quote, hello, I'm Pope Francis, he assumed it was a prank call and did what you would do or I would do. Hung the hell up. Luckily, the Pope called him back. Franco hung up on him again. Finally, the Pope called him a third time, and then Franco finally believed it really, really was him. There's no word on how Franco has been doing since then health-wise, but the Pope did invite him to the Vatican so he could tell him in person that it really was him calling. Kind of a rare story, isn't it? And it's sad. It's sad how it's gotten to that stage in the game. Look, obviously the Pope has a lot going on. The Pope has all of Catholicism to concern himself with. So the idea of getting a call out of the blue in your time of need, of comfort from the Pope, seems a little far-fetched. But it seems also sad that it would be so unbelievable to a guy in this dude's position. Or mine, or yours, whatever. I mean, you get a call from the Pope, you're going to assume it's someone pranking you. Yet this is a person who's supposed to have the closest relationship to God in the Catholic faith of anybody on the face of the planet. And an act of individual kindness and compassion. An act of individual kindness and compassion seems unbelievable. This is exactly the sort of thing a pope should be doing. Not only because he's touching this guy's life, but because he's leading by example. When you find out about someone as busy as the Pope, with as much on his shoulders as the Pope, taking a moment out of his day to call someone and offer him words of comfort in his time of need, sort of makes you feel like, ooh, I could probably do more for my fellow man. I could reach out a little bit more often. I could be a better example. I could care more about the feelings and lives of others. And that's what a pope should be doing. Yet, organized religion has distorted so much of what is good about Christianity, belief in God, any number of religions, I would imagine. I mean, we live in America, so I'm more familiar with how the tenets of Christianity or Catholicism or whatever you want to call it have been distorted and warped by organized religion for political and fiscal gain. And it's a sad statement that in this day and age, a simple